Hi. Hello. Hello, my dear viewers, my followers, my patrons, and my well wishers. How do you do? Welcome to my channel, An Easy Step to English Grammar. And today or tonight, I am late. I am sorry for it. Hi, viewers. Please attend the class. Please participate in the discussion. And it's on grammar. It's on English grammar, nothing else. And I know that it is a very unusual time, but what can I do? After a day's hard labor, I appear before you just for sharing my ideas with you about my grammatical knowledge, because I was a teacher, or I had been a teacher in a high school for more than 37 years. And those who regularly attend my class, please join, please subscribe, please like and comment. Hello, my viewers, my patrons, and my well wishers. Today's topic of discussion is the difference between participle and absolute phrase. Participle and absolute phrase, and their difference. And what is the difference? Difference is that participle is a non-finite verb, but the subject must be the same person. Clear? The subject must be the same person. Hello, my dear viewer who has already joined. Please tell your friends, your other companions to join, because today's discussion is going to be very effective on the minds of the students. What is absolute phrase? Actually, absolute, the term absolute means independent, complete in itself, independent or complete in itself. And if you subtract the phrase from the main sentence, the sentence will not be disturbed. Clear? Then what is an absolute phrase? You know that a phrase is a group of words, and which is the part and parcel of a sentence. It is the part of a sentence, but it is absolute. It is complete in itself. And hello, brother. Today's topic is going to be very interesting, because I am going to share my ideas about the difference between absolute phrase and participle. I have already told you that absolute means complete in itself or independent, or which can be used in a sentence independently without the help of any other words. I want to speak English like you. No problem. No problem, my dear brother. It is a matter of constant practice. For example, I am thinking in English, I am speaking in English, and I am delivering my speech in English because it is a long process and I worked as an assistant teacher in English in a HS school in Krishnagor, Nadia, West Bengal. And in my classes, while taking my classes, I never used bilingual method, because if I would use bilingual method, my students will also be habituated or would be habituated with bilingual method, and they will also try to understand the matter in their mother tongue. But no, if you can't understand English fluently, at this time, try to understand the meaning from the surrounding words. You need not understand English from top to bottom. It is not possible for anybody. And good evening. Good evening. And Mr. Sheikh is joining every day, every night. And I am proud of him. I am greatly happy because he is interested in my class. Whatever may be the case, again I am repeating, absolute means complete in itself. Absolute means independent. Absolute means the meaning of which is complete. It does not depend on any other clause or word. For example, I am giving you an example. I have already advised you, my dear brothers and my dear friends, if you want to take note in your exercise book, it will be very much helpful and you will be highly benefited. For example, the sun rose and the fog dispersed. The sun rose and the fog dispersed. My viewers, you see that the sun is subject and at the same time fog is also subject. So there are two different subjects and there is a cause and effect relation between the sun and the fog. Between the sun and the fog. The sun rose, the fog dispersed. That is, disappeared or vanished. So, when you are joining the two sentences into one simple sentence by using absolute phrase, your first duty will be to catch hold of the cause part. Which is the cause? The cause is the sun rose. subject plus having plus past participle of the verb is absolute phrase. Then what will be the construction? The construction will be the sun having risen, comma. You must put a comma after an absolute phrase. Clear? The sun having risen, rose risen, comma, the fog dispersed or the fog disappeared. Clear? So which part is absolute phrase? The sun having risen. It is independent phrase. It is independent phrase. If you delete the sun having risen, if you only write the fog dispersed, it will be a complete sentence. There will be no disturbance in the sentence. But which is the cause? The cause is the sun having risen. Clear? So, absolute phrase is the phrase or a group of words which is the part of a sentence but which is complete in itself and which has actually a non-finite verb, having risen. And the only finite verb is dispersed. So it is an example of simple sentence. Oh, what is a simple sentence? A sentence which has only one finite verb or principal verb. The sentence is called a simple sentence. Clear? Let us take another example. For example, the rose bloomed. The rose bloomed. The bees and the butterflies sat over it. Sat over it. Follow the sentence. There are two sentences. The rose bloomed. The bees and the butterflies sat over it. Clear? Once I am repeating. The rose bloomed. The bees and the butterflies sat over it. There are two sentences. And which is the cause part? The cause part is the rose bloomed. So you have already known that subject plus having plus past participle of the verb. Absolute phrase. Let us construct absolute phrase. The rose having bloomed. The rose having bloomed, comma, the bees and butterflies sat over it. Sat is the only finite verb. Clear? So, an absolute phrase is a group of words which is complete in itself, which is independent. Clear? Let us take another example. For example, the torrential rain stopped. The torrential rain stopped. The children came out of their shelter to play again. I am repeating again, my dear friends. The torrential rain stopped. The children came out of their shelter to play again. So there are two parts, you see. The torrential rain stopped. So what will be the absolute phrase? The torrential rain having stopped. The torrential rain having stopped, the children came out of their shelter to play again. So came out is the only finite verb in the sentence. Okay. Now you may use having been or being in absolute phrase. For example, the torrential rain have been stopped. No, the torrential rain having HFING. The torrential rain having stopped. HFING. Having stopped. Clear? And let us take another example. For example, the guests were extremely tired. The guests were extremely tired. So, the host arranged for dinner early. The guests were extremely tired. You see, there are two different subjects, the guests and the hosts. Clear? The guests being extremely tired, being, because here there is only be verb, where. Was, where. Clear? So its origin is be verb. The guests being extremely tired, the host arranged for dinner early. Clear? Arranged is the only finite verb or principal verb. Okay? Now, it may be expressed in another way. The guests having been extremely tired, the guests having been extremely tired, the host arranged for early dinner. Clear? So, the guest and the host, here as there is only be verb in the cause part, you will have to use being or having been. Let us take another example. The book was in a very miserable condition. That means it was almost torn. It is an old book. The book was in a miserable condition. So the readers were requested to handle with care. To handle with care. Clear? So how will be the absolute phrase? The books being extremely, or the books being in an extremely miserable condition, the readers were requested to handle with care. Or the books having been extremely in miserable condition, the readers were requested to handle with care. Clear? However, this is absolute phrase. But when you use participle the subject must be the same person. The subject must be the same person. Never, in the case of participle, the subject will be two persons. Hello, my dear friends, my well-wishers, my patrons, and my fans. All of you should comment and like my channel, An Easy Step to English Grammar, and if possible you may share, and I fervently hope that all of you will subscribe my channel, An Easy Step to English Grammar. Okay? If my content comes to your benefit, it is my blessing, nothing else. Okay, the subject must be the same person. For example, Mr. Ramamurthy completed reading the book. Mr. Ramamurthy completed reading the book. Clear? Then he went out with a bag in his hand for shopping. Then he went out with a bag in his hand for shopping. So here the subject is the same person, that is Mr. Ramamurthy. Then how will you construct? Having completed reading his book, comma, you must put a comma after participle. Clear? It is a non-finite verb. Having completed reading the book, comma, Mr. Ramamurthy went out with a bag in his hand for shopping. Clear? Very interesting. Another example I am giving. My father went through the Times of India very rapidly. Then he completed his bathing. Then he started eating his lunch. There are three sentences. When there are three sentences, the first part will be certainly perfect participle, then present participle, then finite verb. Here there are three parts of a sentence. For example, having gone through the Times of India very rapidly and going or completing his bathing, comma, two participles have been connected by and, because the subject is the same person, that is my father. My father. So there is no problem. Having gone through the Times of India very rapidly and completing his bathing, comma, my father started taking his lunch or started eating his lunch. Okay? So, when there are three sentences, the first one is perfect participle, the second one is present participle, and the third one is the main part of the sentence. Here there is also cause and effect relation, but the subject is the same person. Another example I am taking. For example, Alexander invaded India. Alexander invaded India. He defeated most of the kings in this country. He defeated most of the kings in this country. So you may use here the subject is the same person, perfect participle or present participle. For example, having invaded India, comma, Alexander defeated most of the kings of this country. Clear? Or India. Or you may write like this, you may speak like this. For example, invading India, invading. This is present participle. Invading India, Alexander defeated most of the kings in this country. Clear? You may use perfect participle, you may use present participle. So this is the difference between absolute phrase and participle. I hope all of you have understood the matter. In the case of absolute phrase, the subjects must be different, and in the case of participle, the subject must be the same person. This is the difference, nothing else. In the case of absolute phrase, subject plus a having plus past participle of the verb, but in the case of participle, first having, then past participle of the verb, then object, generally followed by an object, and then the main part of the sentence. So here I stop, and next night, next day, I will again appear before you to share my ideas, the tidbits of grammar, and I hope that all of you will participate just at 11:30 p.m. Good night, stay safe, stay mellow, and try to practice all these at home. And you will automatically speak English fluently, you will automatically write English elegantly, correctly, and in a very good way. My blessings with you. Thanking all of you. Good night.